Now we can move on, Kay. Enough of Ronaldo. Let's talk. I want to hear Gab's thoughts on England, first of all.
Thank you. I really enjoyed watching England play. Like I've said all along, that Gareth Southgate is a better person than he is a coach, right? I thought England played generally horrendous football at the Euros and at the previous World Cup, and that didn't play to their strengths, and still obviously did very well. And in this game, when I saw back four, I saw Mason Mount in there. I thought, whoa, what's going on? Is that Jude Bellingham unleashed? Now, you can say it's Iran. It's the first game. Iran have their issues, not just the stuff back home. Also, remember, like everybody else, Iran has only had, these guys only been together for 8 or 9 days. But I think it was a big vote of confidence for Harry Maguire as well. Does he have something to give? I think he showed that he's up for it. His teammates were comfortable with him. I think you only take positives from this as far as England are concerned. Now, I heard Shaka already saying, like, well, if England win their first, England win all 3 group games, who do they get? I'm like, whoa, pump those brakes, right? It's very unusual for teams to win all 3 group games and then go on to win a competition or even go far in the competition. Just check it out. That's just the nature of the World Cup. But I think this is the best possible start. I'm not even concerned about the 2 goals and then, Azmoun hitting the woodwork. And at the end of the first half, I guess Alireza Jahanbakhsh, when he was wide open, I don't know how he put that side-footed over the bar. I'm not that concerned about that because England generated so much at the other end. I think this is, corny as it sounds, this is a dream start for England. And there's a lot to build on because people are going to say it's only Iran, but Iran are not a bad side. They're a side that I think were made to look very bad today by England, and not by defensive England, let's ping the ball to Sterling and then he scurries away and scores, but by England saying, let's be comfortable with the ball, let's do our thing, let's do what we do at club level with our teams, and let's beat you that way because we have more technical players, and they did.
Yeah, I suppose one of the only points of concern, and we must mention it, is we saw the concussion protocol might be a bit of a grey area right now. Alireza Berenvand, the goalkeeper for Iran, having to come off in this game. And at first he was allowed to stay on, then he came off. Not too sure what the situation with Harry Maguire is yet. Obviously, we're coming to you right after the game. Are there a few issues that we're hearing like that, Gab, where maybe there is more of a grey area? We mentioned the ticketing issues earlier, where there needs to be more of a set rule on what is going on, what the protocol is.
Well, we know what the protocol is, right? The decision rests with the team doctor, right? This is not the end. There's no independent doctor. FIFA doesn't get to decide how somebody feels. Even the length of the assessment that, again, I am not a brain surgeon. I am not a neurologist. But from what I read and from what the advice is, it takes a good 15 minutes to go and properly assess somebody. And you're not going to do that during a game. Hence why people talked about temporary substitutions and whatnot. If you leave it up to the teams, You're putting it on a doctor who is employed by a federation, who is, who has got a natural conflict of interest. But then who you want to leave it to? Okay, you want FIFA to appoint, Dr. Doolittle to go and look at somebody and take upon himself the position? Well, you may be fine, but let's just play it safe because, let's take.
Maybe Infantino can say, today I feel like a doctor, and do it himself.
Yeah,
I feel concussed.
I don't know that there is a good way to do it. Even the temporary substitution aspect, especially when it concerns a goalkeeper. The goalkeeper comes off for 15 minutes, another guy comes in cold. That's a tricky one. It's almost easier for an outfield player.
The only thing I'll just add very quickly, like I before entering this world of sports media, I was a youth coach for a very long time. And the problem that you have is that this kind of situation that you see in a World Cup match is a ripple effect all over down to young players and young coaches and parents, et cetera, et cetera. There is a lot of misinformation and lack of knowledge when it comes to concussion protocols. And, you can't just, shake it off. There's multiple concussion symptoms that happen during a course. Whether it takes 15 minutes or less is another thing. The point being is, like, I think at this point, and it's not just the World Cup. I mean, I had an issue watching Aston Villa against Newcastle and Emiliano Martinez should have come off. He didn't. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of misinformation and lack of knowledge on what a concussion symptom is. Just one should take you away because it's saying you may have a concussion. And that's not happening right now. It's completely being belittled, I think. That's my issue with it.
But then do you want a club doctor who is paid for by the club to go and make that decision?
Yeah,
because
that's another issue, right? But yes, good.
We remember,
obviously, yeah.
Because I'm old, I forget if it was 2014 or 2018, but Uruguay, I think it was Pereira or Arevalo Rios, the guy was out. And the Uruguayan doctor comes in, looks at him, like slaps him around the face a couple times, and he keeps playing.
That's because he's Uruguayan, to be fair. Like every.
Well,
but even today we saw one of the Iranian players just squirting the water on his goalkeeper's face.
Yeah, like wake up, get over it, let's go.
Come on.
Exactly. Yeah.
But then we have to be sure. Are we sure that he received a knock to the head? Are we sure that the wind was knocked out of it? You know what I'm saying? Like us watching on television, we're also not 100% sure. It's a really tough one. I'm uncomfortable even talking about. I know doctors take a Hippocratic oath and whatever. It is a lot to deal with. We put a lot of faith in those people with white coats and fancy degrees who study for many, many years, that they're going to take the right ethical decision in it. There's a bunch of people who write books about this stuff all the time, right? Medical ethics and how do you decide in the moment, in an emergency situation in front of 70,000 people, the eyes of a nation on you. I don't know. That is so far above my pay grade. I'm not wading into that. I'm going to let the experts go and sort that one out.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis, and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.